Astraeos' biggest update coming next month. Lost Colony fixes, but with plenty more yet to go. And Lost Colony dev kit update opens the door to brand new mods. Alright kids, it's Raasclark and welcome to your regular Ark community news. Before we begin, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, share around, and let's get into it. With a release date of the 4th expansion to Greek-themed map Astraeos, and this one is set out to be, in Nakatis' words, the biggest update Astraeos has ever got and ever will. Pyranthos, as it's formerly known, introducing a giant new section to the bottom of the map, will be releasing on February the 25th. A vast new desert landmass shaped by myth, ruin and survival. And it appears it might be building on the snow mechanics introduced with Lost Colony, that you'll be shifting sands to give way to forgotten structures, buried pathways and environments designed to test preparation as much as curiosity. With the warming words, I love to hear a place built for exploration and a heck of a lot to uncover. Of course, we already know we'll be running into a new sort of roaming mini-boss Scorpion King, with venomous rewards received if attempting to beat this monolith on the vast dunes, roaming and waiting to put you to sleep. I'm going to guess this is going to do. Ancient forces stirring in long abandoned arenas, with some form of mini-boss already teased by Nakatis some weeks ago. New artifact caves to adventure and discover, and a brand new boss encounter awaiting those ready to face them, which would complete the Dragon Techgram list, so you can now unlock all of those cool new tech items that you couldn't before. And with it being mentioned to be the biggest update Astraeos has ever got ever, considering how big the map already is, and then the possibility of sand textures unearthing areas to explore, building upon the snow interactions we've got with Lost Colony, I've got to ask the question, how on earth is this going to run? Astraeos is possibly my favourite map to date, and already this very early look that we got way back in late last year showcases a heck of a lot of space to explore and a lot of buildable locations, with seemingly the addition of oasis saws, mega raptors, a focus on the depths below with a wonder what's down there, because hello Hades as the new obelisk structure. A lot of people are guessing that rock drakes might be added with these depths when you consider the venomous reward of the Scorpion King, you know, that nameless venom that you need to feed to your rock drakes to get them big. And then not forgetting, this isn't the final expansion to Astraeos, is going to be an island added sometime later on. This is undoubtedly the biggest map to ARK Ascended official we may ever see, leading me to consider what this third and final boss might be when you consider Natrix Medusa as the first boss encounter, Thodes the Widowmaker, Cyclops as your second boss encounter. What on earth could the third one be? Could it be more related to Hades? I especially think it's going to be falling under some form of Greek mythology. And considering the Atlas references that those possess, I'm quietly crossing my fingers for maybe a return of the Hydra. Either way, very excited for this one. Can't wait to check it out. And not really that long to go. The 25th of Feb is going to come around sooner than we think, which means I haven't got much time to complete my adventures on Lost Colony. And, well, there's a lot to do yet because, well, patches. Because stuff has been patched and more patches are on the way. And brace yourself, Gloom lovers, you're going to be in for a bit of a shock. I did kind of expect to see something at some point, but amongst some visual and collision issues, there's definitely one that's well received, is of course the improved spawning of outpost and resource cache loot boxes. And let me tell you, it's definitely improved. I know prior to this patch that if players had dinos near or inside an outpost spawning area, that outpost would never spawn. That seems to be no longer the case, as we went to do an outpost and saw a tribe's dino literally sitting within that outpost and we were still able to do it. I don't even think there was around, so that's good to hear. But unfortunately, they're not as easy as they used to be, because now those turret costs have changed quite dramatically. Defense outposts in particular, the cost of those have gone all the way from 25 up to 100 now if you want to place any auto turret to defend yourself against the revenants, with the explants reverting to the original cost of the auto turret. So flipped and reversed, it's a wonder if that was the original intention they always planned to. And to be honest, it's still doable. Me and my little bro had a crack at one of these with these new changes, and we still managed to pull off a beta. Even with a Bronto pulling up, it was only just one, though I know when you've got an army of them, it's not as easy as it probably looks. Still definitely achievable, but I do wonder if these Brontos will ever receive some form of a nerf, seeing that they one-shot your outpost if they get too close and throw out a little tail swipe. Certainly being a setback on the completion of outposts, hopefully this is going to rectify that. But there is one glaring issue that I've noticed myself recently, that anybody in range can take their own little cut of sigils. That's a bit of an issue, especially on PvE. You can't really do nothing about that. I think we need to figure that one out, wildcard, right? And if you get enough sigils to do the boss, I've heard plenty of issues players have been roaming into. A new one that's just been fixed is the ability to kill the Lost Queen, or lack of killing the Lost Queen, if you've got more than 5 players in a fight. That's a new one I heard. Somebody told me make sure to take a tech sword with you, if just in case, because sometimes you can't do anything. Hopefully that's the workaround now. And there's still perhaps 2 glaring issues I'm seeing that you're telling me as well. One is the time lapse, that when you come to beat the end boss, that the time lapse is still running as you're watching the cutscenes, which means is if you're sitting back and enjoying the lovely cutscenes that have been produced by the team, you might fail the mission as a result, unless everybody skips it to get past it. I think we need to figure that one out, don't we? Definitely, without a doubt. And of course, the losing of creatures before you even get to the end boss, that's definitely a problem, I think. I think we've got to figure out a way around that one. I would personally like to see something a bit more like the tech cave, when you get to the end of the terminal to activate, and all your dinos that are sitting within that at the end, that's what carries through to the boss fight. I know there's definitely a great offset at that note, that if you fail the mission, you don't actually lose any dinos, a first for any boss fight in Ark, but there's definitely an issue with some creatures not making it to the end. Hopefully wildcard will look at those 2 issues in particular. But something they are looking at is your gloons, because you know we've seen all your laser shows. They look great, by the way. I want to do some sort of laser show myself soon with gloons, I guess, hopefully before this gets patched. And I guess I can talk about it now, because if word is out there, they already know. You can't call me Patch Clark for this one, but they know, they're aware, they're looking ahead. Gloon balance changes are coming, well, next week, so brace yourself, because frankly, when you've got too many of them, they do absolutely melt neophytes. I do wonder what they're going to do there. Are they going to nerf them against neophytes? Is that going to be their plan, or what? And if we're going down that road, looking at nerfing them versus neophytes, well, really we should be looking at the other one, the Thyla Bleed, right? I know, don't hate me on this one, but I feel like gloons are meant to be the anti-neophyte creature, right? And well, a lot of us still default to bleeding creatures. So it's a shame to revert back to that if the gloon does get the nerf as a result of this. But mesh falling issues, thralls that we've barely even looked at are being resolved. Some replicator quets blocking cheese setup issues on PvP. Flipping heck, man. This thing's been out for a hot minute, right? There's definitely still quite a way to go to make Lost Colony the optimum experience it deserves to be. It's undoubtedly a great map at that. Really enjoying it. It seems that a lot of you are really enjoying it too. There's just these bugs we've got to get over and fix. And if I had to offer a personal note, hopefully we can do something new with the implants that you receive as a result of beating the boss. Teeth, false teeth, granddad's teeth. I just don't feel it's aesthetically complimentive of your implant icon. I feel like we should have gone with something perhaps a bit more like the slight motionful cursed overlay you get on your cursed weapons. Something like that would have been definitely more well received. I hope we do move away from that icon. Just not a fan. But good news, if you haven't jumped into Lost Colony yet and still somewhat on the fence awaiting these bugs to be fixed, because it appears that the fantastic Tames, Drakelings and Elder Claws that was originally bundled in with this Lost Colony expansion pass are here to stay. Wildcard made an announcement on Twitter earlier in the week, and to be honest, I completely forgot these were meant to be fantastic Tames at some point following its release. But great to hear these are always going to be bundled in, and it's a wonder, is this going to be the continuity of Fantastic Tames in the future? Are we going to see more bundle packs with these? It doesn't feel like Fantastic Tames are gone away. We're going to see more of these over the next year or two, alongside all of the DLC that's coming our way. Shifting us into what's now arguably a more content-thriving Ark experience versus its ASE counterpart. I asked a bunch of you out there during a stream recently, and a lot of you do feel that ASA is the more content exposing version of Ark now to play. If you want content, ASA is the way to go, and there's definitely a shift in balance between the players, as we've seen in those numbers since last weekend. With only more mods offering even more content for you to dabble in. Some recent new Lost Night skin pack made by the dude who brought you the Sulphur Knight, and we've just been playing with that ourselves. Very cool mod indeed. And going to be some even more intricate mods coming your way, as the latest dev kit has now been updated to a giant, I think it's 1.2 terabyte size. If you can possibly store that on your PC to start making mods yourself. I know a few people out there are struggling to run it as we speak, but if you can, all of the new assets that have arrived with Lost Colony has definitely got the taste buds tickling of those modders out there, so watch this space. It's a bit of a dirty plug really from the start, wasn't it? Anyway, listen, I was hoping to download the dev kit myself and unearth any cool little Easter egg nuggets to tease at what might be coming up in the future. Maybe, as we've seen before with recent dev kit updates, that's normally happened, but I just ain't got the space for that thing. I really haven't. So I'll be picking the brains of other people, or maybe other newscasters out there might be revealing stuff themselves. I know one or two out there definitely are. Here's looking at you, GP. And until then, I've still got a lot of Lost Colony to uncover and complete, and only 1 month left to do it if I want to dive into Astraeos and enjoy everything that's going to be provided to us with that one. And being the biggest update to it, I get a feeling we're going to have a heck of a lot to check out and explore when that one comes. Can't wait. Can you? Comment below, let me know. Until the next one, my name's Raasclark. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and as always,